Violence and Vice by Keary Taylor. Narrated by Jesse Elwin. Chapter 1. The hunger is instant, ruthless, overwhelming. It crashes through me, a force of pure primal need, obliterating all other thoughts, all other sensations. My throat is raw, aching, as if I've been screaming for hours. My stomach is a void, a black hole demanding to be filled. My eyelids snap open. The world is crystal clear, every detail so sharp it almost hurts. The air hums, vibrating against my skin, and I can hear someone breathing. No, two people. Both heartbeats are fast, scared. I push up, and it's like my body isn't mine because everything feels different. My balance is perfect, my limbs strong, precise, but there's something foreign about them, like I haven't quite settled into my own skin. What the hell? Why do I feel like this? My eyes shift when I notice something red on the floor. That's blood. There's a smear of it leading up to this table. There are droplets of it leading back to the door. There's tons of it coating the table I'm lying on. Fuck, it's everywhere. The metallic scent coats the back of my throat. It's on my hands, drying in deep, crusted layers, seeping into my fingernails. I glance down. A handful of scattered, bloody teeth lie in the mess. My teeth, I realize, and a sick shudder rakes through me. My fingers brush over my lips before my tongue cautiously slides over the teeth currently inhabiting my mouth. Fangs. Holy shit, those are fangs pressing against my tongue. The hunger tightens in my gut. Lana? I forgot I wasn't alone. My eyes rip across the room, and there I find Florence and Clementine. Florence takes a step back, away from me, and that move alone sends the warning bells in my brain crazy. Clementine immediately places herself between me and her wife. "Here, Lana," Florence says, her voice shaking, and I realize what that is in her eyes. Fear, and it's directed at me. I realize why when she holds something out. The moment I see the familiar sight of a blood bag, my nostrils flare and lava coats my throat. I lunge forward, only it's more like I teleported across the space. 1 second, I was standing beside a metal table in the center of the room, and the next, I'm across the space, ripping the blood bag from Florence's fingers. Before I register anything that's happened, I bite into the plastic casing. Sharpened, elongated teeth sink into it, and a cool, thick liquid gushes into my mouth, staining my lips. A moan works its way up my throat as I suck. I squeeze too hard, and the bag pops, most of the dark red liquid spilling over my chin and my hands, splashing onto the floor. An annoyed huff comes out of me, sounding feral. "Lana," Florence says. My eyes rip up to her, and she's extending another bag to me. Clementine still placed strategically between us. I snatch it in the blink of an eye and bite down on the plastic once more. I'm more careful this time, measuring my grip on it, pacing my strength. I draw from the bag. I suck the cold, metallic liquid down my throat, and I feel every inch of my stomach when the liquid hits. And the moment it does, something in my body quivers. I feel this surge. It's like adrenaline and peace and purpose course through my veins, pounding through my heart, filling every bit of my brain. Another moan leaves my lips as I tilt my head backward, letting the incredible sensation wash over every inch of me. I feel amazing. I feel capable. I feel fucking divine. The emptied blood bag drops from my hand to the floor. I take in a deep breath, sorting through all the different smells. Fuck. It's like I'm on massive sensory overload. I can't take everything in fast enough. Yet I know it's only been 51 seconds since I opened my eyes. But the smell, it's sterile, like medicine and bleach. There's also the scent of animals, rats. I smell skin and shampoo and perfume. I smell exhaust pumping through the ventilation system, though it's faint. I smell New York City. I smell everything. My eyes slide open, and it's like I've needed glasses my entire life, but never knew it. Now I've suddenly got them, and I can see everything. Every speck of dust floating in the air, every fingerprint on the glass, every single scuff on the floor. My vision is crystal clear, the entire world around me in incredible detail. How do you feel, Lana? My eyes rip over to the two women staring at me with wary anticipation. And where adrenaline was raging through my body just moments ago, now I feel equilibrium settling in my veins. What the hell happened to me? The words come out a little raspy, but with a profound clarity, with a new kind of authority. Clementine glances at Florence, her expression worried and a little doubtful. I'll explain it all, Florence says, and there's a mix of fear and excited curiosity filling her eyes. But first, I need to know, how are you feeling? Thirsty? Stable? I want to scoff at that last question, but considering everything that's happened in the last few moments since I woke up, I guess it's reasonable. I'm not thirsty, I say, going with her very literal questions, taking things one at a time. Which doesn't seem right. I've seen Aries drink 4 of these things at a time. 1.5 and I'm good? A little smirk starts pulling at the corner of Florence's mouth. You're not a born, Alana. And it all starts hitting me like tidal waves. You turned me, I say. Despite the rising torrent of emotion inside me, my voice is smooth, strong. Florence doesn't blink. You are going to die. I couldn't let that happen. The damage, what Giovani did, the hospital wouldn't have been able to fix that. But regeneration is the basis of what I created. The breath exhales out of me. Fuck, I almost forgot. It almost seems like a distant memory, yet it's right there, playing out in my mind. Giovanni gutted me in retaliation for what Aries did to his son. He split me open like an animal. And Florence made a choice. She saved me. So, what am I? I ask, needing some kind of clarity. I need her to say it. I can feel the evidence in every inch of this new body, but I need her to say it. Florence's expression settles into something calm and confident, just like she always is. You're the first of your kind, Lana. A maid vampire. Maybe I should feel anger, fear, doubt. I didn't make this choice, I never said yes, and now I'm something entirely different. Instead, I feel invincible. I look down at my hands, flexing my fingers. I swear there's power humming through my veins. My entire body feels as if it's buzzing with energy, like something coiled and ready to release. A maid vampire. Holy shit. How do you feel? Florence asks again. I glance around the lab like it holds the answer to her question. The damage is horrific. The metal table I was lying on is bent. There are blood-streaked surfaces, the remnants of my shattered body still littering the floor. I realized then that the lab smells like death. My own death. But my eyes slide closed, and I focus my attention inward. This feeling. Oh, this feeling. I feel. I run my tongue over my teeth again. It's so strange that even my teeth are different. My canines are sharper, more elongated. Not as dramatic as Aries, but certainly not what they were before. And they aren't retracting. Yet another thing that is different from the born. A slow, wicked smile pulls at my lips. Amazing. Clementine relaxes, just slightly, as if a little convinced that I'm not going to attack the love of her life. Her eyes still blaze brilliant yellow, though. Florence lets out a breath. It isn't quite relief, but not exactly fear either. Movement across the space catches my eye, and I note the massive mirror across from me. Neither Clementine nor Florence stops me as I cross to it. The reflection that stares back is mine, but not. I tilt my head, studying myself. My hair is the same, my skin has the same golden undertone, but it's flawless, smooth. The little scar that used to be above my left eyebrow is gone. I glance down at my hands and realize every single scar that used to be there is gone as well. Regeneration. The basis for Florence's madwoman concoction. I look back up at my reflection. My lips are still full, but when I part them, sharper, more pointed canines greet me. My teeth generally look different, and I realize they literally are. I lost all of them in the transformation process. These new teeth are all sharper, more deadly. But as I look over myself, I can't see any other new physical differences. I imagine tearing through evil flesh, picture drinking blood, anything. But my eyes don't flare red or yellow like the born or the bitten. They're still my own natural shade of mahogany. You're still you, Lana, Clementine says. There's such compassion in her voice. Just upgraded. It almost feels ludicrous for her to say that when I feel like this, when I feel so raw and primal and perfect. But as I look into my eyes in the mirror, I search for her. Lana Kincaid. Vengeance. And there, I see her. I am still in there. I drag my gaze back to Florence. Where is everyone? This place wasn't so dead when you gave me the tour. Thankfully, everyone had already gone home for the day, she answers, her gaze darkening slightly. I've given everyone a mandatory day off tomorrow, just to be safe. Wait, it's still Monday? I gape, shaking my head as I blink hard. How long was I out? Florence folds her arms and steps out from behind Clementine, apparently assured I'm not going to attack her and try to drain her of her blood. 2 hours. I blink again. My body has completely rebuilt. Like every inch of me has been burned away and reformed into something wildly superior. I was human. I died. And in 2 hours, I became something else entirely. 2 hours to rewrite my future. 2 hours to become this. That sounds fucking impossible, I say honestly. That familiar smirk forms on Florence's lips. Told you I was making a better vampire. No more lifetime to grow a born and a 4-damn-day-long resurrection process. 2 hours, Lana. The woman standing before me has always amazed me. That doesn't change now, but I realize the power she holds, the wild things she's capable of. All she needed was 2 hours to make me into the first of my kind, a made vampire. How in control do you feel? Florence asks as she takes just one step toward me. There isn't a trace of fear left in her eyes. I straighten, standing a little taller. I scan myself internally, searching for any feral urges, any desire to grab her and drain her blood. There is no rage, no cloud of confusion. I feel grounded, aware, ready. I lift my chin. Completely. That smirk pulls on her mouth again. Good. She steps closer. Now, we have to figure out how to save Aries from himself. My stomach knots as it all comes rushing back to me. Aries' odd behavior, his losing periods of time, and the revelation that he's been killing New York City's vampires without even realizing what he's doing. Fuck. That is the man I love. The man I love killed Felix, Beth, Mike, Tom, and Giovanni's son. The man who has lost himself to some monster within his own mind. I let out a slow breath. My mind is clearer than it's ever been. My body is a weapon now, far beyond what it's ever been capable of. And if Aries needs saving, I will tear the world apart to bring him back. Chapter 2. From my pocket, my phone buzzes. It's so normal, so mundane. It feels impossible or ridiculous, considering all that's happened. I pull it out, checking the notification. It's the camera at the house. My heart jumps into my throat as I click on it. He's a bit of a blur, but that's definitely Aries walking into the penthouse. Aries is at home, I say, immediately stepping toward the elevator. Do you have anything that can maybe knock him out? If we can put him out, we can contain him until we can fix him. My step stalls for just a moment. I realize that I do, in fact, have something that can knock a vampire out. The dart that Elle gave me when I went to visit her in Boston. It's tucked away in our penthouse. A heavy enough dose, and I think most sedatives can take even a vampire down, Florence says as she turns in the lab, pulling a fridge open. She pulls out a syringe. Even if it's short term, it's better than nothing. Problem there is you have to get close enough to a vampire to stick them. Elle was smart, making her version into a dart. I might not have a blowgun to fire it, but I can throw it well enough. Come on, I say, as I press the button for the elevator. We've got to get there before he can leave again. Lana, are you sure you feel okay? Clementine asks warily. She's staring at me with doubtful eyes. I was totally out of control for 3 solid weeks after I was bitten and transformed. Every Born I've ever met was at least a week until they had a handle on themselves. It's been 20 minutes, Lana. I stare into the eyes of the most compassionate and calm woman I've ever met. I see fear there, alarm, concern. I take a moment and search within me. Do I feel out of control? Do I feel like I'll be a danger to anyone outside? The honest answer is no. I don't know what it feels like to wake up as a bitten, I confess, holding her gaze. I don't know what it's like to be a Born, but Clementine, I promise you, if I was doubtful about how I felt, I'd beg you to lock me up. I just feel like a damn superhero version of me. I feel amazing. Florence steps beside Clementine, sliding her hand into her wife's. Clementine still looks incredibly worried as she looks into Florence's eyes. But at the steady expression on Florence's face, Clementine lets out a little breath. The elevator dings and the doors slide open. We step inside, and Florence swipes her badge for it to take us to the ground level. Just then, my phone dings again. I've missed a call. I hold my phone to my ear to listen to the voicemail. It's Laszlo, our doorman, letting me know that Aries has just walked in. The man's a saint. I didn't even give him any details about why, but I'd begged him to call me if he saw Aries, and he has. I slip my phone back into my pocket and anxiously, eagerly wait as the elevator ascends. It feels like it takes 3 hours. But really, the journey takes about 15 seconds. Finally, the doors slide open, and the 3 of us step out into an empty lobby. Considering the twilight lighting outside and the fact that the lobby is empty, everyone has gone home for the night. Florence heads straight for the door, and we all step out. Of course, there is a slick white SUV waiting at the curb. I haven't met Florence's driver yet, but of course, she too has one. Lana, this is Kat. Kat, this is my sister-in-law, Lana. Florence gives a quick introduction as we slide into our seats and buckle up. Considering how indestructible I feel, though, a seatbelt seems laughable. Lana, Kat says with a nod, just before she merges into the light traffic. Nice to meet you, I say distractedly. Being in this small space, suddenly I hear heartbeats. I feel surrounded by them. I heard them earlier, but now that we're in such a small space, they sound so damn loud. Florence's sounds different than Clementine's. It must be the difference between a bitten and a human. Kat's heart sounds like Florence's. Guess she's human. It's fucking wild that I can hear that difference now. Any ideas on how we fix Aries? I ask as we roll through the city. Florence rubs 2 fingers over her lips, thinking as she looks out the window. It would help if we had any understanding of how this happened. You really don't have any ideas other than someone did this to him? I shake my head. This happened before with the Steele family, and there were essentially no leads as to what caused their uncle to snap like that. I've gotten one confirmation that there are others out there who can do supernatural things. They have abilities. So yes, I believe someone did this to Aries, but I have no fucking clue who. Florence worries her lower lip, mulling this over. We're definitely getting outside of my realm of knowledge. I think we're going to have to bring in your other friends. Meaning the Barons. When we were a block and a half from the penthouse, I get another camera notification. Only when I open it up, I don't see anything. Just the empty hallway outside our home. Fuck, what does that mean? Finally, we roll up to the curb and Kat stops right in front of the doors. All three of us pile out of the vehicle, and it's everything I can do not to sprint inside. Just as we step into the elevator, I get yet another notification. But before I can even get it to open and load, the doors slide open on my floor. We step out, and I find Cisco standing at my front door. He looks back at us as we step out of the elevator. "Where the fuck have you been, Lana?" he demands, his tone angry and terrified at the same time. "I've called about 50 times and texted you just as many times. You—" He stops short when I get within 5 feet of him. He stands a little straighter, his eyes narrow. I see his nostrils flare as he scents the air. "What the fuck?" "We have to see if Aries is still inside." I cut him off, dreading what I think might be coming. "I got a notification he went in just a little bit ago. If he is, we're going to try to knock him out. You willing to help us?" I don't really ask it as a question. It's more of a desperate demand. Cisco presses his lips into a thin line, then nods at the door. I pull my keys from my pocket and unlock the door, stepping inside with wild nerves. "Aries?" I call out as I step into the entryway. My newly enhanced ears strain, listening for any sounds, any signs. I step into the living room, my eyes sweeping for tattooed flesh and dark, wicked eyes. But I don't see him. "Aries?" I call out again as I step into the hall. But as my hearing casts out, as it listens for any sounds, I get absolutely nothing back. I dart for our bedroom. Nothing has been disturbed. But when I enter the closet, I smell him. Wealth and danger in the most intoxicating musk. And in the hamper, I see the pants he was wearing when I picked him up in Queens. "He was here," I say as Cisco steps into the bathroom behind me. "Just a minute or two ago. We barely missed him." "How can you tell that, Lana?" Cisco asks, and there's something almost accusatory in his tone. I look over my shoulder at him, nervously trying to gauge what his reaction will be. His eyes are a little feral, a little wild, a little confused, a little scared. "Lana?" he says, almost a warning. "Just let me check the cameras again," I say, as I step around him and walk back out into the hall. As I head for the dining room, where Florence and Clementine wait, I pull out my phone. There are movement notifications from when Cisco showed up, just 10 seconds before the three of us women arrived. I click the one I got when we were still in the car. There's a little blur of black clothing in the bottom right corner. I missed that before, but there's nothing more than that. "He left in a fucking hurry," I say, as I extend the video to Florence. She swears under her breath. Cisco steps up, and I show him the video. "This had to have been only 2 minutes before you got here." "Shit, Lana," he says, shaking his head in worried confusion. "If I'd been looking up, I probably would have seen him leave the building. What the fuck is happening to our boy?" Our boy. Those words practically make me cry. Cisco has Aries back. Will he still have mine when I give him the answers to the questions I haven't let him ask? I don't know, I answer honestly. But we need a plan for when we catch up to him. "I still think knocking him out is a good option," Florence says as she pulls the syringe from her pocket. "Agreed," I say, picturing Elle's dart that's hidden in the guest bedroom. I don't know if I dare say anything about it. Everything about Elle is fantastical, but her stories and secrets are also dangerous to her and her growing family. Sometimes secrets are not ours to tell. Aries obviously isn't in control, and if he tries to fight us, he's a capable man. It wouldn't be easy. We'll need to contain him after, I add. This might not be a quick fix. It won't be a quick fix, since we don't know what the hell happened to him. So once we knock him out, we need to lock him up somewhere. "How do you lock up a Born?" Clementine asks doubtfully. "When they can break through chains, burst through walls, how do you contain that kind of vampire?" "Harry," Cisco says, his gaze growing heavier, darker. "He had some serious enemies a few years back. He needed information, and he needed somewhere to lock them up." Harry has a place in one of his properties designed specifically for a Born. I raise an eyebrow at that. Every single vampire I've met has a fascinating backstory I know very little about. You trust Harry with this, though? I ask, knowing it's a hard question. I definitely like Harry enough, but I've only known him for a few months. What do you think? Cisco takes a moment to consider it, holding my gaze, but he nods. Harry's a good guy, and he likes Aries. He understands there's nuances to life. We can trust him. You're sure? Florence asks, concern etched into every inch of her expression. This is my brother we're talking about. I don't take any uncertainty when it comes to my family. Cisco meets her gaze, his eyes narrowing for a moment. His eyes flick to me and then back to Florence. Oh shit, he's piecing things together. I'm sure, he says with confidence. Can you call him when we're done here? I ask, relying on Cisco completely in this situation. Cisco simply nods. Are we gonna talk about it now? Because I'd really like to know what the fuck happened to you, Lana. And is it because of Geo? I feel it like a change in air pressure. The whole atmosphere of the room changes in an instant. Once more, I look back at Florence. How the hell do we proceed? We protect those we love, and I don't know what the consequences of outing Florence might be. What she's doing is groundbreaking, yes, but it's also wildly experimental. Who knows the long-term consequences? And I don't know how the hell the rest of the Born are going to feel about it. Don't look at her, Lana, Cisco says, his tone warning. Tell me why you smell different. Tell me why your heart is beating differently. Tell me why you're talking differently. Tell me why you look just a little bit different, Lana. My eyes slide back to Cisco. His expression isn't vengeful, it isn't suspicious. It's worried. It's scared. Cisco has my back. I just have to trust that. It is because of Geo, I say honestly, and as I begin, Clementine steps closer to Florence, her stance shifting a little more protective. It feels wrong that my hands aren't shaking a little, that they aren't sweaty. I'm nervous to tell Cisco the truth, but my body functions completely differently now. I think you were trying to call me, to warn me that Geo knew that Aries killed Luciano? I did, Cisco confirms. His name had displayed on my phone at the same moment Geo showed up at the Hunt House. He was spouting some crazy shit, said he was gonna even things out. I swallow once and nod. He tried. He showed up to Florence's house, where I was, and he said, a love for a love. He gutted me, sliced me from the throat down before plunging the blade into my gut. A curse slips from his lips as his eyes slide down to my stomach. But when he doesn't see any kind of damage, they rise back up to meet mine with confusion. You know, my family has had a pharmaceutical company for ages, Florence says. Her voice shakes a little, but she pushes authority into her tone. She is ever the confident boss. We conduct all kinds of research. When I was holding Lana in my arms, watching the life fade from her eyes, while I was trying to hold her intestines inside her body, I knew I could not let her die. The moment hangs suspended for a bit. Florence is extremely good with words and fantastic at painting a picture. I felt something bulging out of me. I knew I was losing a lot of blood, but the thought of my literal intestines falling out of me, of Florence trying to hold them in, it's visceral. What did you do, Florence? Cisco says, his tone turning accusatory. Do you really want all the answers? I ask him, taking a step in his direction. Cisco, I'm not going to let you touch Florence or Clementine. What's done is done, and I'm alive because of it. If you hear the answer, you're accountable for the information. You'll be sworn to secrecy. Do you really want all that, Cisco? My whole body is humming with the importance of my words. Cisco holds my gaze the entire time, never once looking away. I trust you, Lana, Cisco says, emphasizing that it's me he trusts. His eyes flick up to Florence for a moment, evaluating everything I just said. If you're cool with all of this, I promise I will be too. But don't leave me in the fucking dark. I want to know. I hold his gaze again for a solid minute. evaluating the man. I'm not one who trusts easily or quickly. People are generally unreliable. People lie. People are selfish. People let you down. I've only known Cisco for 2 months, but in that amount of time, he's always had my back. He's always had Aries' back. So I'm going to trust him. I give Cisco the simplified version of the truth. I tell him Florence took me to her lab. Florence explains what she's been studying, how she's been working to create a biological vampire. She explains the ultimate regeneration process, and I see it as Cisco starts piecing it all together, the fact that I'm now a vampire, but an entirely new kind. When we're finished, Cisco just stares me down. He chews the inside of his lip. He blinks 3 times. And then he looks over at Florence. "You just went and made a whole new kind of vampire?" he asks, his tone a little deadpan. "I did," Florence answers. Her tone tells me she's not backing down, and she won't be intimidated. Cisco's eyes slide over to me. He looks me up and down, but there's nothing sexual about it. He's taking in all those little differences he noticed immediately. He's evaluating the reality that's right before his eyes. "I always knew you were meant to be one of us," Cisco finally says. "Just never thought it was fucking possible." A relieved laugh chuckles out of me. A smile cracks on Cisco's lips, and he steps forward, pulling me into a massive hug. "Aries is gonna lose his damn mind when he finds out, for good and bad." "Yeah," I say, with a pained chuckle of my own. I hug Cisco tighter, so damn grateful for this wild card man who has become one of my very best friends. In fact, all my best friends are in this room with me. But we have to find him first. Cisco releases me and backs away 2 steps. "With how stealth Aries is being, we're gonna need some more help. We're gonna need to give a heads up to any other vampires we know to be on alert. We're gonna have to tell Harry too, Lana. We need his help." I nod and swallow nervously. If you could tell immediately that something was different about me, he will be able to as well. But not Cliff. I don't trust that little shit. "Me either," Cisco admits, which makes me smile. "But Lana, before we meet with Harry, you need to think about what you want to happen with Gio." My brows furrow. "He tried to gut you, Lana," Cisco points out, arching a brow at me. "His intent was to kill you. If it wasn't for this mad scientist here, we'd be planning your funeral. So you need to think about what you want justice to look like." My eyes flick to Florence and Clementine, who have been mostly silent observers the last few minutes. "It's fair," Florence says, nodding. "But if you ask me, the answer is pretty obvious. The man was out of his fucking mind. He kicked in my front door. He did the deed and ran." I swallow and feel my brain spinning with the possibilities. Giovanni Bosco is a family man. He's been with his wife, Francesca, forever. She now looks old enough to be his mother, and Gio isn't young looking. They have 8 kids together. When Francesca couldn't have more herself, they had a surrogate help them out. Gio killed me because he was avenging his son, Luciano. Aries killed Luciano. What's fair in this situation? Everything was done out of love, followed by vengeance. I'm familiar with both emotions. I don't have an answer in this moment, so I just nod my head. "I'm calling Harry," Cisco says as he pulls out his phone. "You feel good enough to go to a meeting? No primal urges to drain half the population?" I shake my head, once more doing an internal survey of how my body feels. I feel just fine. Amazing, if I'm being honest. Cisco shakes his own head, laughing. "Wild. I tore through 8 people in my first week after resurrection. A couple of bags and you're satisfied?" "She's going to have to drink every day," Florence points out the difference. My disadvantage that kind of cancels out the other option, in my opinion. Cisco shrugs at that. "Better than killing people when you're not meaning to. 'Kay, I'm calling Harry." Cisco wanders down the hall as he presses the phone to his ear. "Your friend is surprising," Clementine says, keeping her tone low. "I think most anyone else would be freaking the hell out hearing there's a new kind of vampire." "He's a good guy," I answer, nodding. "He's been a good friend to me and to Aries. We can trust him." "I sure hope so," Florence says, eyeing Cisco. I can tell she's trying to overhear his conversation, but I'm sure she can't. I, however, catch every word. Cisco is simply telling Harry that they need to meet, and it's urgent. Cisco hangs up just a few seconds later and walks back toward us. Harry can meet in an hour. I vote we go look for Aries while we wait. That sounds perfect, I say with a nod. Florence, Clementine, you've had a hellish evening. I'll stick with Cisco. You guys should go home. I see conflict in Florence's eyes. She wants to keep control over the situation. She always has her fingers on everything. But she's human, the only one in the room now, and she looks like she's barely staying on her feet. Fine, Florence concedes, even with her chin lifted. I'm going home to take a shower and a nap, but then I'm headed out to look for Aries too. I give a nod. Thank you, both of you. I appreciate everything you did for me. It wasn't even a thought, Florence says as she steps forward and wraps her arms around me in a hug. She presses a kiss to my temple. Love you, Lana. Love you too, I say, and it feels like my entire body warms with the words. Clementine hugs me next, telling me to be careful and to take care, and I watch as they walk out the front door. So that's Aries' sister, Cisco says as he keeps looking at the closed door. I see it. Oh, shit, sorry, I stutter. I didn't even consider the fact that they'd never met. Yeah, Florence and her wife, Clementine. I got that much, Cisco says with a chuckle. Now, you have got to shower and change before we leave. I'm not looking to get arrested as responsible for how you look. For a moment, I look down at myself in confusion. Oh yeah, my shirt is sliced and I'm covered in my own dried blood. Got it. Give me 10 minutes, I say, as I stride down the hall and shut the bedroom door behind me. Chapter 3. We don't find Aries in the grand total of 30 minutes we have to look for him. Neither Cisco nor I are surprised. When it's 2 minutes until the time we're supposed to meet Harry, Cisco and I ride the elevator to the 30th floor in one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen in the city. Considering how much of Augustus's wealth Aries inherited, he is the richest of the barons now. But if I had to guess, I'd say Harry is probably the second richest. But he's also the least likely to flaunt it. We step out of the elevator and are treated to a spectacular view over Manhattan. A wide stretch of windows span out in front of us. Before it is a smattering of comfortable chairs and end tables, the decor elegant and subtle. To the left and right, there are doors to individual offices. As we walk into the space, the door to the corner office opens and Harry waves us to come in. Here we go, I think to myself, when Harry's eyes narrow as I approach. Then they drop down the length of me, studying, questioning. This floor is empty except you? I ask, even though I hear no sounds of life. It just might take me a few hours to settle into trusting these new, enhanced senses. It is, Harry confirms as the three of us step into the office. Harry closes the door. Have a seat. I've never seen a more masculine and moody office in my life. Everything is dark colors and deep wood. All of the furniture is black with burgundy accents. A professional decorator was obviously paid handsomely to coordinate the space to such perfection. It's almost obsessively clean. I don't detect a speck of dust in the whole place. It fits Harry Kim perfectly. There is a large desk to the right, the city as a backdrop beyond it. To the left, there is a larger conference table that can seat 10. Before that is a cozy seating area with 2 black leather couches facing each other. I head to one of the couches, and Cisco sits beside me. Harry hardly takes his eyes off me as he sits across from us. I know we haven't known each other that long, Harry, I say, diving right into it. But I've come to consider you a friend. I feel like you can be trusted. Am I right in that? Harry is ever the picture of cool and collected, and that doesn't change. He just blinks at me, composed. I guess you, Aries, and Cisco are about as close as I have to friends. If you're asking for trust. He hesitates, mulling over what he's about to say. I can't promise blanket statements for every single action, but based on what I know of you, our past history, yes, you can trust me. I nod just once. I swallow, gather my courage, and begin. This started with Aries, I start, carefully wading into the deep end. Something is wrong with him, and it led to, what you're seeing. So together, Cisco and I explain what has been happening with Aries, his odd behavior, his disappearances. Harry listens, affirming that he has noticed the oddity of Aries' action as well. I share the details, what I've seen, considering Aries and I live together. I tell Harry about the phone call I received when Aries needed me to pick him up in Queens, and that he had no idea how he'd gotten there. I see things clicking into place as we explain. Cisco explains what happened after Aries left their meeting last night, how he tailed Aries, how Aries intentionally tried to lose him, like he was being sneaky. And we finally reveal how Aries killed Luciano, how Gio figured it out, how he arrived at Hunt House, how he gutted me, intending for me to die. And I confess Florence's decision, what she's been studying, how she used me as a guinea pig, and everything I've experienced in the last few hours since waking. I explain that I'm the first made vampire. And that brings us to tonight, I say in a big exhale, feeling mentally exhausted, doing this twice in just a few hours since it happened. Tonight? Harry asks, the first true show of any kind of shock. Lana, how long ago did this transformation happen? My eyes flick up to the clock hanging on the wall. Well, Gio first gutted me about 6 hours ago, but from when I woke up after the injection to now, it's been about 3 hours. Holy shit, Harry says, and I've rarely heard the man curse. You really are something different. You're so calm. I think I killed 3 people the first 24 hours after I resurrected. That's what I said, Cisco says, with that slightly manic smile of his. Fucking crazy, isn't it? I turn my thoughts internally once more, evaluating if I feel the desire to tear into any necks. Nope. I feel fantastic. No thirst, just great, I say, getting a little tired of explaining this part. But Harry, I think you understand why we're putting a lot of trust in you with all this information. This is potentially dangerous, for extremely obvious reasons, and not just dangerous for me or for Florence. For the whole damn world, Harry finishes for me. I nod. This doesn't have to be some paradigm-shifting event. It's just me. Florence was desperate, but she's not looking to do anything else with it, not any time in the near future. It's just me. I emphasize every word. So I hope we can just move past this part. Harry, we need your help with Aries. I haven't seen him or heard from him since our meeting, Harry says, and I'm so damn relieved when he leans back on the couch and crosses one ankle over the opposite knee. It's as if I can see his acceptance of all this crazy. I nod. No contact is exactly what I expected. We'll be searching for him, Cisco explains. When we find him, we're gonna knock him out, and then we're gonna need to contain him. You want to use my vault, Harry concludes immediately. Cisco nods. No safer place in the city to keep him until we can figure out how to fix him. Of course we can use it, Harry says, and I breathe a little breath of relief. Not that I expected him to say no, but this all just could have gone so fucking sideways. But it doesn't do us a whole lot of long-term good if we can't figure out what or who broke Aries. Have you run a timeline on it all yet? Honestly, not really, I reply. It's all been such a whirlwind, and we only realized there was actually something wrong less than 24 hours ago. I've been a little preoccupied in the meantime. Harry stands and crosses to what looks like a giant TV to me, but he presses a button, and it gets this weird gray glow. He retrieves a marker from a drawer and writes "Timeline" across the top. It's some kind of fancy glowing whiteboard. Last night, Aries was in Queens and took out Luciano. Cisco begins. On the board, Harry writes the date, Queens, Luciano. The day before, I found a bloody shirt stuffed in the garbage, and Aries told me he couldn't remember what he'd done that day, I say, my stomach twisting with all of this damn uncertainty. Harry notes it on the board. Victim, question mark? Wednesday was the day Aries ditched us at breakfast, Cisco brings up. Remember he got some kind of notification, got all weird, and took off? What happened the rest of that day? Harry asks me as he makes notes. Nothing that I know for sure, I say, running my brain through the rest of the day. He was gone all day, but I didn't hear of anything suspicious. Cliff called us in for that meeting, Cisco continues. When he told us that Mike and Beth had been killed, that was Monday. Harry adds their names to the list, dating the event. I went to Aries' office that day as well, I add. The secretary said something about their accountant not showing up and that it was weird. When I checked with James yesterday, he said Tom hadn't been into work since that day. Cisco swears under his breath and shakes his head. Harry adds Tom's name to the list, as well as the day. Who else am I missing? I say aloud, racking my brain for more. Surely there must be more. Shit, I hope there isn't more. Felix, Harry says as he writes his former employee's name down, adding yesterday's date. Damn it, I forgot about Felix. I can't think of anyone else, I say as I rub my eyes. How can I be so tired and not at the same time? Was there anything else that happened prior to this? I ask as I blink my eyes back open and scan the board. Anything that seemed suspicious? Any other deaths you heard about or other people missing? I couldn't get a hold of Cliff this morning, Harry says as he looks back at me and Cisco. My stomach drops out. A curse slips over my lips. Fuck. Cisco joins my sailor language expression hour. Aries has been annoyed as hell at Cliff for a week. You think Aries got to him? A baron? Sounds like it doesn't matter what someone's title is, Harry points out. If he's not in control, he's not in control. He could just as easily come after me or you next, Cisco. Not sure about you, Lana, considering you're a maid. Shit, I didn't even think about that, I say. He isn't just picking people he doesn't like. You two are in as much danger as Cliff. Hold on, Cisco says as he pulls out his phone. Since he's seated next to me, I see him pull up Cliff's name. He hits call and holds it to his ear. It doesn't even ring. It immediately goes to his voicemail. Shit, Aries might have killed Cliff, Cisco says with wide eyes. We probably better go check his house and his office. As in, check for a body. Fuck. As much as no one seems to like Cliff, do any of us really think he needs to die? More than anything, I don't want to see more blood on Aries' hands. What about Giovani? I ask, feeling something coil in my stomach. Has anyone heard anything from him since he came after me? Cisco's eyes darken as he looks at me. I can see in his expression the answer he's settling on as to what Gio's fate should be for coming after me. No. There hasn't been a reason to talk to him, Harry says, even as he pulls his phone out. He taps on the screen a few times and holds it to his ear. He waits a few moments. Gio, Harry says, and my heart about jumps into my throat. Just checking. Harry immediately hangs up. He's alive. He won't be the second Aries hears what he did to Lana, Cisco points out. I might not get the chance to decide what Gio's fate should be. Aries will indeed go after Gio the moment he knows what Gio did to me. Do you know what you want to have happen with Gio? Harry asks. His tone drops lower, more serious. He fixes me with those dark eyes, and I see an openness there. He, like Cisco, is leaving it up to me. I shake my head. I don't know yet. I really haven't had 2 seconds to actually think about it. It's kind of complicated. But Cisco, you're right. When Aries finds out what he did... So, the options are, do we give Giovanni the chance to leave town before Aries gets wind of it? Harry says. He's always so logical, so damn smart. Or do we let nature run its course? I nod, agreeing with his presented options. I need some time to think about it. Harry nods. As little credit I give to the barons, there is a little bit of a purpose. Big decisions come to a vote. Things that affect our city. If Cliff is dead, and Giovanni's fate uncertain, Aries is off the rails, that leaves just Cisco and myself. When it comes to things like this, there can't be just two. I vote Lana as a baron. Cisco immediately catches on to the direction Harry is headed. Baroness? No, baron. I second the vote, Harry says, a small smile pulling at his lips. Congratulations, Lana. You're equally one of us now. Holy shit, my head spins. What the hell just happened? Did Harry and Cisco really just make me a New York City baron? Just like that? Are you serious? I blink. You want me to be a baron? I don't own a fucking thing in this city. Not all about ownership, Lana, Cisco says with a smile. It's about doing what's best for New York. You're fucking smart. We don't just want you to be a baron, Harry says evenly. You are one now. Aries has always believed in me. Don't let that crown ever slip. You're Lana fucking Kincaid. Don't ever let the world forget it. It's something he's said to me over and over. There isn't a chair at any table in this city you don't belong at. Aries has believed in me and my power from the get-go. But these other powerful men, these billionaires, these immortals, they believe in me too. Thank you. The words come out a little breathless and a little shocked and confused. You two are crazy, but thank you for trusting me. Been too much of a sausage fest for too long anyway. Cisco smirks. Welcome to the team. I bow my head slightly as I feel my face flush, filled with an overwhelming amount of appreciation. Thanks. Back to the timeline? I can't think of anyone else who is dead or missing, Cisco says, immediately locking back into the task at hand. Whiplash. I have fucking whiplash. When we started this discussion, I was just Lana, a newly made vampire. Now, on the other side of it, I'm Lana, New York City Baron. I can't either, Harry says, and I feel like Aries was perfectly normal at the meeting we had when he told us about Augustus, which was... He taps the marker against his palm while he thinks. 3 weeks prior. I didn't see him in between that time, so it comes down to you, Lana. When did you notice him starting to act weird? I cross one leg over the other, leaning back into the couch, digging into my brain, which is so different now. I feel like I have so much more space in my brain now. Everything feels sharper. What Florence has done to me is wild. Honestly, that day we found out about Mike and Beth, and even Tom, he seemed fine, I conclude. But we know that he'd killed them that day, so I don't know. I would almost say that whatever happened to him had to have gone down that day, or maybe the day before. What else did Aries do that day? Or who did he talk to or interact with? Harry asks, as he folds his arms over his chest. I blush as I think back on what happened right before. He was with me the night before. Earlier than that, he'd been at work, so he would have seen any of his regular team he saw every day, but I know he was with me for at least part of the night. You can spare us the details, Harry says flatly. I blush harder. He was gone in the morning, though. He'd left some time before I even woke up. Aries went to talk to my former best friend, I say, shaking my head. I'd forgotten about that until this moment, and I realized that Harry and Cisco know nothing about Ophelia, so I give them the rundown of how she was taken by Augustus, how I'd been looking for her, how Aries found the record, and after he rescued me, Aries and I went looking for her. I tell them about her absolute freakout when she realized Aries and I were together, how she'd rejected me, how our friendship is utterly ruined and over. Sounds like this woman really hates vampires, Cisco says as he raises an eyebrow. But she's just some woman, I say as I shake my head. It doesn't even make sense that she could do this. But something prickles at the back of my scalp. I shove it down, though. There's just no way. Ophelia is just a person. There's no way she could be responsible. You sure? Cisco asks, staring at me. It doesn't make any sense. I shake my head, dismissing it. But I'll keep thinking about it, see if I can think who else Aries talked to that day. Cisco doesn't seem convinced, but he looks away from me and back at the board. I can't think of anyone else Aries might have taken out. Seems pretty clear it's only been a week since whatever it was happened to Aries. I think for now, we hire some people to look for him. Probably not the smartest thing for me or you to go looking for him, Harry. I know 3 PIs, Harry says, raising an eyebrow at Cisco's idea, like he's surprised with Cisco's solution but agrees with the plan. And 2 bounty hunters. I'll give them a call. I only know 1 PI, Cisco confirms. But I know some other people who tend to be good at tracking down individuals. What the hell is that supposed to mean? I've always kind of thought Cisco looked like he came from the wrong side of the tracks, but he kind of confirms it a little with that statement. Well, I don't know anyone like that, I say, rolling my eyes at these ridiculous billionaires and all the money they can throw around. But I don't think I'm the kind of vampire Aries is trying to track down, so I'm going looking for him myself. Harry, can you text me the address of the vault in case I find him? Harry nods, his arms still crossed over his chest. Anything else? I ask, feeling myself reaching my mental limit with all of this. Even though there's so much more room in my brain right now, I feel burned out, overdone. I need 2 seconds to breathe by myself. Not sure there's much more we can do at the moment, Harry concludes. We just need to find Aries, and keep thinking of how this might have happened to him. I will. I nod affirmatively. I rise from the couch and take 3 steps toward the elevator. Thank you, both of you, for everything you're doing. Thank you for trusting me, for your understanding. We got you, Lana, Cisco says with a small smile. Glad to have you officially on the team. It just makes sense, Lana, Harry adds, and nothing in his expression says he's lying. I give them one nod and step into the elevator. Chapter 4. The penthouse is eerily silent when I step inside. The space feels familiar but distant, like stepping into a memory instead of reality. Nothing has changed, but I have. I fucking hate that I know I'm by myself, that Aries isn't here, that once again I'm on my own. I push the thoughts aside. If I don't, I just might start drowning. Now that I'm alone, now that the damn world has paused for 2 seconds, I feel me. And everything feels so damn different. I walk slowly through the living room, dragging my fingers along the leather of the couch, the polished edge of the kitchen counter. Everything feels changed, more tangible. I can hear the faint hum of the refrigerator, the shift of air in the vents, the distant buzz of traffic from below. My senses stretch out, reaching further than they ever have before, like I can feel the heartbeat of the entire city. I make my way to the bedroom, my movements smooth, effortless. Too easy. There's no sluggishness, no tension, just raw energy coiled beneath my skin, waiting to be unleashed. My body feels primed, honed to perfection, and yet it still doesn't feel real. I step into the bathroom, and standing in front of the mirror, I take myself in. I don't look that different at first glance. My reflection stares back at me with the same sharp eyes, the same dark hair tumbling around my shoulders. But then I look closer. My skin is flawless. Every scar, every mark I've carried for years, wiped away like they never existed. I run my fingers over my forearm, expecting the familiar ridge of an old accident. Nothing. Just smooth, untouched flesh. I'm only 24, so I don't really have any wrinkles yet, but my entire face is so damn smooth I almost look like glass. My muscles are subtly more defined, not bulky, but sculpted like my body has been streamlined for power. I've always been fit, but this is something more. And then there are my teeth. My tongue flicks over the points of my fangs. Somehow they fit perfectly in my mouth, no aching, no unnatural shift when I bite down. They belong. I exhale sharply, gripping the edge of the vanity. And even though I'm still looking at myself, I feel like my brain is slowly detaching, dissociating, because my eyes trail downward to my stomach, and I remember exactly what happened. Giovanni tried to kill me. He sliced me open, left me dying. I should be dead. My own insides had been spilling out of me, and there was no coming back from that. No hospital, no surgeon, nothing could have saved me. Except Florence. Florence made a decision that no one else could. She took the risk. She turned me into something entirely new, the first of my kind, an experiment. I squeeze my eyes shut, the weight of it pressing down. Fuck. How do I even feel about this? Everything hasn't stopped moving since I opened my eyes, and I haven't really had a chance to catch my breath and feel my way through it. I'm not human anymore. I'm the only one of my kind. I was the guinea pig. Things could have gone so damn wrong, but Florence had to just act. My eyes open, and I stare back at myself. I'm a total unknown. Am I truly immortal, like Florence believes? Florence seems to think I could get staked and still survive. The regeneration of her science is that strong. But what if? I feel like a giant what if right now. What if I change more than Florence expected? What if my body keeps adapting? What if there are more side effects she hasn't discovered yet? I blink at myself in the mirror and take a steady breath. It doesn't matter. What's done is done, and I'm alive. And more than that, if Florence is correct, I now have something I didn't before. Time. Ever since I realized that I love Aries, I feared the one thing I could never change. Aries and I were never going to have forever. I was mortal, and he wasn't. Even if we had a lifetime together, I know it with every damn bone in my body, it would never be enough. The way I love Aries, the way he's come to inhabit every inch of my soul, the way he's rearranged my DNA with my need for him, my mortal days would never be enough, even if I lived to be 100 years old. But all that's changed. If Florence is right, now I have forever. I won't waste a second of it. I'm going to find Aries, and I'm going to fix him. A knock at the door breaks my thoughts. On instant alert, I cross the penthouse with quick strides, ready to fight or contain, depending on who it is. I pull the door open, and about the last person I expect to see is Florence. "Hi," she says as she pushes her way into the apartment, ever confident, ever bossy. She's carrying a cooler, her expression carefully neutral, but I can see the tension in her shoulders. She sets the cooler down on the kitchen counter, and for a moment, neither of us speak. "I gave the other scientists in the lab the day off," she says finally, her eyes flicking up to meet mine. "I was worried at least one of them would show up anyway. We're all a bunch of workaholics. Thankfully, they stayed away." There's something a little uneasy in her eyes, and that's a rare sight. It just feels wrong, off, to have anyone else in that space after everything that happened. But they'll never know. "Good," I say simply. I can only imagine the implications if anyone found out what she'd done. I'm no scientist, but I imagine doing something as reckless as what Florence did wouldn't be received well. Florence watches me carefully. "How do you feel?" I straighten, testing the weight of my own body, the hunger in my belly. "In control." She exhales, nodding. "Good, because now we have to figure out how to save Aries. I can't stay. I'm meeting with a private investigator. I thought they could help find my brother." I smirk at that. "Between you, Cisco, and Harry, we'll have half the city looking for Aries. They're talking to their own PIs as well. Harry even has 2 bounty hunters lined up." "Good," Florence says. "We're going to need all the help we can get." She steps for the door, hesitating just before she walks out. "I'm sorry, Lana. I am. That I made such a monumental decision for you. But I'd do it again. The Hunts do anything for the people they love." Before I can respond, she slips out the door, closing it with a quiet click. Florence rarely makes apologies. She rarely makes mistakes. And I don't know that either of us truly views her decision as a mistake. Not when the other option was death. But once I'm alone again, something within me stirs. The hunger starts as a slow pulse in my gut. Subtle, creeping, but insistent. My throat feels dry, my mouth tingling with the need for something more. It's been hours since my last taste, and my body knows it. The cooler sitting on the counter is like a beacon. My eyes slide to it, and somehow I just know exactly what's inside it. With steady but greedy hands, I swing open the lid. And exactly as I knew there would be, there are a dozen bags of donated blood inside. I grab one of them, barely hesitating before I rip it open. The second the blood touches my tongue, relief crashes through me. The liquid spreads down my throat, filling my veins, settling the restless energy vibrating in my limbs. It's like pouring gasoline on a dying flame. It roars back to life, strong and steady. Holy shit, it's amazing how this feels. How perfect I feel. Like nothing could ever go wrong. Like nothing could ever touch me. I feel like a fucking demigod. But this is every day now, I say to myself as I look at the empty bag. Every damn day, I will need to drain one of these bags, and it hits me like a bolt of lightning. Or I could feed live. There's a reason for these sharpened teeth, just like I've seen Augustus do, just like Lawrence did to me. I could sink these fangs into someone's neck and draw out their blood. Holy fucking shit. The reality of it hits me in the chest. I am a vampire. A vampire. Me, Lana Kincaid, soon to be Lana Hunt, is a vampire. If I were the me of 2 days ago, I would feel a spiral coming on. Humans can only take in so much at once before there starts to be adverse side effects. But I'm not human anymore. Still, I don't want to dwell on something that's already said and done. So my eyes turn to the windows that look out at New York. Somewhere out there, Aries is lost, alone, hunting. I set my jaw. I'm coming for him, and I won't stop until I find him. I retrieve Elle's vampire toxin dart she gave me. I hid it in the guest bedroom, and it's still there when I dig it out. I tuck it into my pocket, making sure it can't fall out. It's fucking ridiculous, but as I walk to the door of the balcony, I feel this insane confidence. I feel a sense of urgency. And why bother with the elevator, the lobby, when I'm ready to go right now? I climb onto the ledge, and I leap from the balcony. A wicked smile pulls at my lips as I land effortlessly on the sidewalk. I stand straight, assessing my body, checking for breaks, for fractures, hell, for bruises. But there's nothing. I feel as fantastic as ever. It's a good thing it's only an hour until dawn, the time when the city is the quietest. As I look up and down the street, I don't see anyone who might have witnessed me doing something that should be impossible. I step forward and blend into the dark. The city feels different now. The cool dawn air slides over my skin, crisp and refreshing, but it doesn't sink into my bones the way it used to. I walk through the brightening streets of Manhattan, moving effortlessly, as if my body was built for this, because it was. I have never felt safer in my own skin. My movements are fluid, every step precise, like I've always known exactly how to move. I pass through the quieter edges of the city, where the river laps against stone embankments, the rising sun casting long shadows across the wet pavement. As the day breaks, I direction for buildings I know Aries owns. I do believe he was still working over the last week, taking care of everything Augustus left on his shoulders. Maybe there is still some logic in him and he will show up to work. But as I ask at one building and then another, no one has seen Aries. I head to his office, but no one there has seen him either. So I keep looking. Noon comes and goes. I don't find Aries. The hour creeps past dinner time, and I still find no signs of him. He's not answering his phone. It goes straight to voicemail, obviously dead. Evening sets on the city, and still I can't fucking find Aries. Darkness descends on Manhattan, but I continue my search. The South Street seaport is mostly deserted this time of night. The historic buildings, once lively, now stand as dark silhouettes against the skyline. It feels like the perfect place to hunt for a ghost. Aries is looking for other vampires to kill. It's the only conclusion I can come to. Felix, Beth, Mike, Luciano, all vampires. All people that Aries has ripped apart, even if he has no idea he did it. So where else might he be looking for other vampires? The only other vampires I know are Cisco and Harry, and they're well aware of the danger they're in. Where else is Aries going to look for other vampires? Damn it. And James, Aries' assistant. I need to warn him to stay far, far away from Aries. And Clementine. But I trust Florence will keep her safe at all costs. But as I search for Aries, as I comb through every street I can think of, something prickles along the back of my neck. I feel eyes on me in the dark. I hear the sounds of breathing, faint, but there. I realize I'm not alone. A prickle of awareness climbs up my spine, a whisper of instinct. Someone is watching me. I stop in my tracks. The air around me stills. I listen. I turn my head slightly. "You can come out," I call out, even as every muscle in my body tenses, ready for anything. There's silence for 5 whole seconds. Then, from the shadows, a figure steps into the dim light. Giovanni. His dark eyes rage with conflicting emotions, confusion paired with disdain. He studies me, his expression twisting. He knows what he did to me. He knows I should be dead. "Impossible," he breathes, his gaze dragging over my body, sizing me up, looking for proof that I'm real. I tilt my head. "Nice to see you, Gio." His lips curl back, a flash of sharp teeth. "No, it doesn't. There's no possible way. I gutted you." His voice is raw with disbelief, but fury swells beneath it like a tide ready to break. Fuck. Oh, fuck. This is about to get bad very quickly, and this isn't just going to be some little scuffle either. My stomach tightens. I don't flinch, but the memory flashes bright and brutal. Gio's blade slicing through me, the sickening heat of my own blood pouring onto the floor. Gio's gaze narrows, suspicion darkening his features. What deal with the devil have you made? What demon stands in front of me now? Considering what we are, I wouldn't have pegged you for the type to believe in the devil or demons, I say. And I really shouldn't bait the man, but suddenly I'm feeling a little salty. Guess that's what happens when the man who tried to kill you comes back with an attitude. My words leave him looking more confused than ever when I say the word we. But the look on his face shifts, the darkness in his eyes doubling. He takes another step closer. One of my people said they saw you today, he growls, stepping even closer. I told them that was impossible. I guess now I get to kill you twice. I think it fair for the brutality Aries used on my Luciano. The air between us turns razor sharp, and he moves, his eyes flashing brilliant red. Fuck, vampires are fast. Gio lunges quicker than a striking snake. But now, because of his actions, I see every movement. I calculate every step he takes. I can feel it humming beneath my skin. My new body is electric, precision forged. I duck low under the arc of his swing, pivot off my back foot, and slam my elbow into his ribs. The blow lands clean. I feel the impact in my forearm. But it's like hitting stone. He barely flinches. He snarls and backhands me. I twist with it, absorb the momentum, let it carry me into a shoulder roll. My boots scrape the damp pavement. I come up crouched and launch forward, feinting a jab before diving my knee up into his gut. This time, he grunts. What the hell are you? He growls, voice breathy. I grin. Stronger than I used to be. He lunges, grabbing me by the throat. I drive both thumbs into the soft tissue just under his jaw, and when his grip on me loosens, I wrench free. I twist, catch his arm, and throw him over my hip in a clean judo toss. He crashes to the pavement, but rolls with it, back on his feet almost instantly. Then he grabs something from the ground, a rusted length of rebar, bent at one end. Jagged. Seriously? I breathe. He swings it with both hands, and I'm too close. It slashes across my side, tearing through my shirt, biting deep. I stagger back. Pain flares hot and sharp. I feel the metal dig into my ribs, feel it tear the muscle, even graze bone. But almost as soon as I can even register the pain, it's gone. I blink down and watch in morbid fascination as the wound begins to knit itself shut right before my eyes. Muscle fiber coils back into place. Skin stretches, seals. There's not even time for blood to spill. Oh, hell yeah. Giovanni sees the miracle as clearly as I do. His eyes widen. What the hell? I shrug my shoulders back, squaring off with him. Gio, you have to stop and talk to me. What Aries did, he had no control. He isn't himself right now. I saw the video footage with my own 2 eyes. I watched Aries do it. Gio bellows as he lunges forward again. Rage distorts his face. He roars and lunges again, his strikes wilder now, desperation in every movement. I evade, ducking under his attacks, moving like I was born for this, but he's relentless. A fist connects with my jaw. My head snaps sideways, pain ricocheting through my skull. He's stronger than I thought. His hits carry decades of experience. I stagger back, barely dodging his next strike. Gio, please stop this, I yell, feeling desperate. I know I can protect myself. I know he's going to have a very, very difficult time killing me. But fuck, I don't want us to beat each other to a bloody pulp. I need to get him to listen to me. But he simply snarls and spins to face me again. I lunge again. Low, fast. I drop into a sweep and take his legs out from under him. He crashes hard, and I don't give him a chance to recover. I'm on him in a blink, straddling his torso, fists driving down into his face. Left, right again. I feel cartilage crunch beneath my knuckles. He growls, shoves up with both arms, tries to throw me off. I roll to the side and come back with a hook that sends him into the alley wall. Brick shatters behind him. He's furious, feral. He lunges, claws out, but I drop under him, grab the back of his knee, and slam my palm up into his sternum as I rise. The force lifts him off the ground, just a few inches, but enough to stagger him. Gio's foot catches the back of mine, pulling my leg out from under me. He takes his moment, and, with a snarl, he plows into me, sending me skidding across the pavement on my ass. My hand whips out to stop the impact. Something beneath it rolls, and my fingers close around it. The very same rebar Gio sliced me with. And as we skid to a stop, as Gio's fangs extend and he aims for my neck with a feral snarl, I react on instinct. With deadly force, I shove that rebar deep into Gio's chest. There is a sickening snap, and then the sound of something wet and soft being pierced. Giovanni's body goes rigid. His dark eyes widen, something like disbelief flickering in them. At the same time, both our eyes slide down to the metal rod sticking out from his chest, right where his heart is. I scoot back from beneath him as he kneels, looking down at the damage. Giovanni tries to suck in a gasp, but the sound is wet and fractured. He blinks once, the look on his face stunned. And then his body loses strength, and Gio slumps forward, falling flat on his face. The rebar pierces through his back as his own body weight drives it deeper. His skin turns ashen. His chest does not rise and fall with breath. Dead. Giovanni is dead. Silence crashes down around me. My hands are still curled into claws, shaking. My breath comes in sharp bursts. The scent of blood clings to the air. I stare down at his lifeless body, at the way the fight drained from his limbs in an instant. I killed him. I killed him. Shit. Oh, shit. A wave of nausea surges up my throat. My pulse races. This wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't trying to kill this man. I just wanted him to stop. I just needed this to stop. I stumble back, my mind spinning. Giovanni was powerful, respected, an important man, a baron, and I just ended him. My body still thrums with the height of the fight, the overwhelming power humming beneath my skin. But inside, something tightens. A pit forms in my stomach, something between horror and inevitability. I'd never killed anyone as a human, but in just over 24 hours of being a vampire, I've ended a life. Shit. Shit. Something stings the backs of my eyes. Sirens sound in the distance, instantly ripping my eyes to scan the surrounding area. It's doubtful they're for me. There's no one around to witness what I've just done, and there are sirens going off all the time in the city. Still, I need to move. But I can't just leave him. Panic claws at the edges of my mind, but I force it down. If the police find Giovanni, if they identify him, this becomes an investigation. The last thing we need is for any of us barons to get tied to this death in any way. My gaze snaps to the Hudson River, dark and endless beyond the South Street seaport. No, that's too final. His wife, his widow, his other children, they're all going to want to bury him. I inhale sharply, my senses hyper-attuned to everything around me. The sharp bite of blood, the weight of Giovanni's lifeless body, the city pressing in. I have to move fast. I crouch and lift him effortlessly, my new strength making it easy despite the literal dead weight. The sight of his slack face sends a fresh wave of nausea through me, but I push it down. I carry him into the shadows, sticking to the darkest alleys, weaving through back streets until I reach a small, secluded parking garage. No cameras, no foot traffic. I set his body down carefully behind a row of construction equipment that is so filthy and dusty I would guess it's been abandoned. I kneel beside him, patting down his pockets with steady hands until I find his phone. My stomach twists as I hold the device up to his face, unlocking it with his own lifeless features. The screen opens. It's easy enough to navigate to his contacts. There, at the top of his favorites list, is Francesca's name. I tap her contact and type, "Your husband is at this location." I send a pin along with the message. I feel like I should say more. Give an apology, explain. But inciting Francesca to retaliation isn't a good idea. Giving her any kind of indication as to who did this and why doesn't do anyone any true good. The moment it sends, reading delivered, I drop the phone onto his chest. I straighten, pulling my own phone out from my pocket. I stride off into the shadows as I start a group text to Cisco and Harry. I swear I tried to stop it. Gio came after me again. We fought, and he wouldn't fucking listen to me. I was defending myself. My hands feel like they should be shaking as I type out the multiple messages, but my new made form holds me steady. Gio is dead. I took care of the body. Fuck. I can't believe I just typed out those words. 10 seconds later, Cisco simply replies with expletives, following it with another text asking if I'm okay. Harry's response is simple. I trust you did what you had to do. My life is so off the rails right now. I just confessed to killing a man, and these two incredibly powerful, incredibly important men have simply given me their support. Because I'm one of them. What fucking alternate universe am I living in? Chapter 5. I spend the entire night looking for Aries. I swear I have to walk 30 miles, maybe more, in the 24 hours I search. I try calling him 50 times. It goes straight to voicemail every single time. I text him about 100 times, but none of them say delivered. It's obvious Aries' phone is dead. How far gone is he now? Over the last week, he's definitely acted weird. There's been the times he can't remember what he did, but he's always had moments of himself. He's come home. He's spent time with me. He's still been him. But it's been 30-something hours since I last saw him, and Aries hasn't been logical enough to plug in his phone? He hasn't tried to contact me or anyone else? Just how bad is it now? Damn, I don't want to know, but I have to. The Wall Street district, Midtown, Harlem. I swear I searched the entirety of Manhattan, but he could be anywhere now. He has his motorcycle. In the few minutes he went back to the penthouse, he probably grabbed his wallet, so he has money now. I should have thought to check for that while I was at home. What other vampires does Aries know? Is Harry next? Cisco? The sun has just broken over the horizon, and I should be absolutely exhausted, but I'm not. I've been darting around this city literally for 24 hours. My legs should be on the verge of collapse, but I feel just as fine as when I left the penthouse. But the sun is coming up, and the streets are getting busier and busier. There's a slight burn in my throat now, though. It's been just over 24 hours since I last drank. I need to go home soon. Because for the very first time, as I look around at the people bustling around me, they smell good. Really, really fucking good. I notice pulses in necks, at wrists. I can hear their hearts beating. I turn a corner, aiming myself back for the penthouse. But as I walk down the street, it feels familiar. I realize why when I look up and see Ophelia's building just down the block. My chest tightens as I remember the last time I was in that building, how thoroughly she rejected me, how she all but spat in my face. It didn't matter how I tried to reason with her. It didn't matter how I explained. She sat in that beautiful apartment and she judged me, judged Aries, someone she wouldn't even give a chance. My feet suddenly falter. I come to a stop right across the street from her building, Ophelia's beautiful apartment. I stare at the building, scraping my eyes over it. It's damn near brand new. I wouldn't call it upscale, but it's definitely nicer than most of the itty-bitty shitholes on this island. Ophelia should never have been able to afford it, but she'd somehow sweet-talked the landlord into giving her a killer deal. Ophelia walked into the top law firm a month ago and got a job she was underqualified for when they weren't even hiring. My breath catches in my throat. Something sharp bites at the backs of my eyes. Ophelia has always had a way with words. She so often has been able to get what she wants. Not always, but often. Fuck. Aries went to see Ophelia the morning everything went bad. Aries told me that Ophelia had tried to talk him into leaving me. He'd said, hell no. She couldn't talk him into that. But what did she talk him into doing after? And how did she make him forget it? I stalk across the street, barely dodging the traffic. 2 different cars honk at me, but I don't even look in their direction. My eyes stay fixed on the building ahead of me. My fingers clasp around the door, yanking it open. I crack the button to call the elevator as I slam it. Heat is practically radiating off me as I rise to the 19th floor. I know she's home. As I step in front of her door, I can hear her moving inside. I smell her perfume before I even touch the door handle, a sharp floral scent that always seemed too sweet for who she really is. And I don't bother knocking. I twist the doorknob, easily breaking it when it's locked, and shove it open. Ophelia yelps from her kitchen, where she's seated at the bar eating breakfast. She backs away in a hurry, tipping the bar stool over. "Lana?" She barks in fear and annoyance. "What the hell?" "What the hell, indeed," I snarl as I step inside. I shove the door closed behind me and stalk across the space, stopping just 3 feet away. "Did you know you can do this? That you could twist and manipulate him?" But she doesn't answer immediately. When I zero in on her, her eyes are searching me in confusion. She sees it. She doesn't know what she's seeing, but she knows something is wrong. Her eyes flicker over me, trying to pinpoint what's changed. I watch the way her breath hitches, the way her pulse jumps at her throat. I don't speak. I don't have to. I close the door behind me. "Did you always know?" I demand again, my voice low, measured. Her eyes don't meet mine. They continue studying me. "Know what?" I take a slow step forward. "That you can influence people. That you can make them do things." A beat of silence hits as heavy as an anvil. She blinks too fast, and finally her eyes meet mine. "What are you even talking about?" I can hear her heart hammering. I can smell the adrenaline rolling off her in waves. My anger stirs deep in my chest, curling like a living thing. "Don't play dumb with me, Ophelia," I say. "You've always had a way of getting what you want, haven't you? The job, the apartment, the favors. People just listen to you, don't they?" She swallows, the look in her eyes shifting to steel. "That's just called being persuasive." "No, it's not," I say, voice sharp. "Aries hasn't been acting like himself for a week. We don't know what he's been doing. Do you?" Her face drains of color. She knows. Her fingers twitch at her sides. I take another step forward, slow and deliberate. She instinctively takes one back. "Aries came home with blood on his hands." My voice is quiet, but each word is razor sharp. "We've been getting reports. Vampires in this city. Dead. Did you make him do it, Ophelia?" The last few words come out as an accusatory whisper. Her mouth opens, then snaps shut. The silence is deafening. My nails bite into my palms. The anger is rising now, swelling in my chest, pushing at the edges of my control. A new kind of anger, deep, instinctual, edged with hunger. It's not just fury, it's predatory. She sees it. She feels it. And something new stirs inside of me. My nostrils flare as her scent hits me. Not the scent of her perfume. Not her laundry detergent. Not her shampoo. Fuck. I smell her blood. And it smells divine. My mouth waters. My stomach clenches. I can see her pulse in her neck, the rapid beating of her heart as it pushes blood throughout her body. Shit. No, Lana. I blink, tossing the unexpected instinct out of my head. No. Ophelia shakes her head rapidly, oblivious to the moment that just happened. She steps back until she nearly trips over the edge of the coffee table. "Lana, they shouldn't even exist. What they did to me, to you, what Augustus did to you," I cut her off coldly. "What one man did to you. And what do you think the others would do?" she says coldly as she backs right into the couch. "I had to protect you too, Lana, even if it's from yourself, because you're too close to it all. What you did is worse than anything any of the others ever did. People are dead now, Ophelia." My words fall like anvils from the sky, their impact crushing to both of us. And why were you so angry about what Augustus did to you? Because he took away your free will. But look what you've done now. I shake my head in disgust. You used Aries. You took away his free will. Because he never, ever would have done this on his own. So how are you any better than Augustus? Her mouth opens, but no sound comes out. I watch as the weight of my words settles on her shoulders. The shock, the slow unraveling of truth, the way she's starting to understand. Aries will have to live with this forever, I say, my voice like steel. That's on you, Ophelia. She trembles, just slightly, but I see it. Her fingers tighten into fists. She's trying to hold on to her justifications, trying to grasp at some sliver of self-righteousness. But I see the cracks forming. I take one last step toward her. She has nowhere left to run. Did you always know, I demand, that you could do this? Her lips part. A heartbeat passes. Then she exhales, barely a whisper. I've never really known. It doesn't always work. Just sometimes people listen to me. Fuck. Fuck. How long? I ask, my words so quiet they sound absolutely deadly. She quivers as she looks back at me. The terror in her eyes makes her look manic. It started when I was 16. My stomach twists, and I remember the last time I was in this apartment. Ophelia's tone suddenly changed. She'd grabbed me, and she'd begged me to leave Aries, to forget about him. I hadn't even considered it for a second. Ophelia had tried to influence me, but it didn't work. How often do you do it? I ask, low and dangerous. She doesn't answer, and that tells me everything I need to know. I take a slow breath. My hands unclench. The room is thick with silence, the air charged with something electric and raw. Ophelia stands before me, shoulders hunched, face pale, her whole world unraveling into blood-stained chaos. Good. She should feel this. She should live with it. Who helped you? I ask, my words ice cold. Ophelia's face turns white. I smell the sweat prickling her skin. How do you... My expression sours. Because something like this has happened before in this city. Before, right around the same time you were born. And I didn't connect the dots before. But you told me that not everyone in this city is so enamored with the vampires. Who helped you, Ophelia? Something hardens in her expression. I see something different there. Defensiveness. Protection. She shakes her head. You'll never get to her. It would be literally impossible. Ophelia! I bark, feeling my veins flare hot. That hunger in my blood grows a little more insistent. Don't you fucking get it? This mess you've made, there isn't any coming back from it. There is no hiding from it. There is no manipulating it. Do you not understand that the death toll is rising? Do you understand that whoever you're protecting is responsible for the death of at least 5 vampires? That now you have 5 deaths on your hands? Lana, Ophelia says my name, a terrified, overwhelmed whisper. My nostrils flare as I smell her again, the copper racing through her veins, the rush of her blood through her body. My mouth salivates. Fuck. This is what Clementine was so worried about, what Cisco and Harry were so impressed over. I feel it, sparking. The hunger, the craving. I need to get out of here, soon. I need to get something to drink before I do something I can't come back from. But I don't have time to drink. Now I need to fucking fix this. You're going to fix Aries, I say, my voice quaking with rage. I am going to find him, and you are going to fix what you broke. Ophelia's eyes are swimming now, but the tears don't break. She shakes her head. Lana, I can't. My blood goes cold. I take one more step toward her, only 2 feet between us now. You don't what? She may be 3 inches taller than me, but I've never felt more confident in my stature, my body. I feel ready to tear the world apart. and Ophelia will not get in my way. I don't know how to undo it, she admits, fear shaking her every word. I've never tried. Well, there's no time like the present, I say. My hand snatches out and I grab her arm. You know what fucking sucks? You were once the person I trusted most, and now I don't even trust that you won't run. You can hate me all you want, but you've really left me with no choice. You're coming with me until you fix Aries. Lana, let go of me, she snaps, trying to yank out of my grasp. But it's almost laughable. My grip doesn't loosen even a hair. My fingers tighten around her arm. Fuck. Ow, Lana. I pull my phone from my back pocket and dial Billings. Ophelia lets out a string of curses, trying with everything she's got to yank out of my grasp. Billings answers after 2 rings. Ms. Kincaid. I need you to pick me up. You still have my location? I ask, getting right to it. I do, he says, and I hear the phone shift on his end, as if he's pulling me up right now. I can be there in 2 minutes. I'm close. Perfect. I'm in a hurry, I say, relief coursing through me. See you soon. I'm not going anywhere with you, Ophelia snarls as she tries yet again to yank away from me. She's going to be horribly bruised later. Trust me, it feels like shit to go there, but you don't have a choice anymore, I say, disgust transforming my expression as I look at her, our faces only a foot apart. Scream while we head downstairs and I will put you out. You know I can. She does, indeed. It's how we met. Ophelia came to my self-defense classes. She's seen me demonstrate knocking an attacker out without causing damage. She goes white. So, it's really come to this. It's really gotten this bad. Over him? A vampire. He is my fiancé, I say darkly, my tone confident. He's the best person I've ever met, the person I've felt the safest with, the one who would do anything for me, and I will always choose him. Come on. I march us to the front door. I lead us through, never loosening my grip on her. And Ophelia must sense it, my newfound strength, that something is different, because she doesn't make a peep as we head to the elevator, then ride to the ground level. By the time we walk outside into the busy day, Billings is parked at the curb. I guide Ophelia to the door, open it, and push her inside. I climb in after her, dropping hard into the seat and lock the doors. Give me just a second, Billings. I need to call Harry for the address, I say as I pull out my phone. If she tries to run while I call, catch her. Ophelia looks at me with absolute terror. Yes, Miss Kincaid, Billings says in that deep voice, not an ounce of hesitation. His eyes fix on Ophelia's reflection in the rearview mirror. I hold my phone to my ear and Harry picks up after just 1 ring. You found him? He asks without greeting. No, I answer simply, but I have the person who did this to him. I need her contained until we get Aries. I need the address for the vault. Harry rattles it off to me, and I repeat it to Billings, who immediately sets out in that direction. I'll meet you there, he adds. See you in 20, I say. Could you do me a favor and bring me something to drink? It's about to be a problem. He hesitates for just a second. I don't blame him. I'm something new, and we're all learning as we go. Sure. See you soon. I end the call. I look over at Ophelia, who is staring out the window, shaking her head. Can you even see or hear yourself, Lana? Do you realize how much of a stranger you are now? Anger rages through my veins. All of this, and she's going to try and make me feel bad? Right back at you, O. She gives a humorless chuckle. Guess this is just life. It grabs you around the throat, forces you to make decisions you never thought you'd make, and suddenly you don't even know who the hell you are. I settle back into my seat, clenching my jaw. I don't want to hear shit from her right now. You could fix all this, you know, Ophelia says. Just forget all of this, Nope, I bark, my voice like razor slicing through her manipulation. I launch sideways before she can get the words out, the words she's trying to use to influence me. My seatbelt's already off, and I surge across the narrow space between our seats, twisting my body like a viper striking. Her eyes flare wide just as my right arm snakes around her neck. I tuck the crook of my elbow tight under her chin, my forearm pinning her throat, my bicep pressing firm against one carotid artery, while the inside of my forearm crushes the other. I lock my left hand behind her head and press, forcing her skull forward into the hold. She jerks beneath me, elbowing wild, but she seems to forget everything I taught her in class. She's not a fighter, not really. But I was raised in a ring. "Billings, don't stop driving," I bark as I tighten my hold. "Wasn't planning on it," he replies, though his eyes flick to the rearview mirror with concern. Ophelia wheezes, her legs kicking, one heel slamming against the center console. She claws at my arm, fingernails digging into my skin. It's desperate, panicked. "Go to sleep," I mutter as I keep my grip. My heart thunders, but my mind is clear. Keep the pressure, don't crush her windpipe, don't let her talk. Just hold. 5 seconds. Her struggling weakens. 6. Her limbs twitch like dying wires. 7. Her body goes limp. I hold for one more beat to be sure. Then I ease her down into her seat, guiding her head gently against the rest. "Damn it," I breathe harshly, brushing hair from her clammy face. She's breathing, just unconscious. I slide back into my seat and breathe deep, adrenaline fading, my hands buzzing. I can still feel the shape of her neck against my arm, the tremble of her fear, her desperation to get the words out. I warned her. I can't let her hurt anyone else. Not ever again. The silence after is deafening. "Seems a lot has happened in a very short span of time," Billings says from the front seat. My eyes rise to meet his in the rearview mirror. "The whole of reality has shifted," I reply simply. Chapter 6. We cross the Brooklyn Bridge, and the GPS hooks us around toward the water. We pass shipping yards, a pier, and warehouses. And finally, Billings pulls up to the curb in front of a brick building that is about as nondescript as I could imagine. Just as Billings holds the door open for me, a sleek black car parks right behind us. There is a terrifying-looking woman with dyed purple hair at the wheel, but Harry immediately exits the back seat and walks to my side as I open Ophelia's door, catching her before she can slump to the concrete and get a concussion. "This is the one who did this to Aries?" Harry asks, observing as I scoop Ophelia into my arms. It's insane how easy it is now to carry someone who weighs more than me and is taller than me. "Unfortunately," I admit as I follow him to a steel door. I expect him to dig in his pocket for keys. Instead, he presses his palm to a black square to the side of the door. A moment later, there's a beep, and I hear the lock unlatch. Harry is definitely the most high-tech of the barons. He pulls the door open for me, and I step inside. It's dark, but my eyes adjust rapidly. There are stacks and stacks of boxes, the space feeling very much like a warehouse or storage facility. But Harry walks past all of it, pushing back into the maze of cardboard. We walk past a set of stairs that rise up into the 3-story building. I know it when I see it. There, in the middle of the building, is a steel box. It's so plain, yet intimidating all at the same time. There are shiny steel walls all around, and facing us are 2 heavy-duty doors. Once more, Harry presses his palm to a scanner, and a moment later, the door clicks as it unlocks. Harry pulls the door open, and my heart drops when I take in the prison cell. There's no other way to describe it. The walls inside look exactly like the outside. Shiny steel. There is a twin-sized bed against one wall. There is a small bathroom in one corner. There's a shelf against another wall that has some non-perishable goods, and a microwave on a tiny countertop. I have to contain Ophelia. I don't trust her with a single bone in my body that she won't run now that the truth has come out. But I feel fucking awful locking her up. She spent 2 months locked beneath a mausoleum. This prison is certainly a million times better than that one, but still, I'm locking her up again. Hopefully, it's only for a few hours, maybe a few days at most. And unlike when Augustus took her and sold her, this time Ophelia is here because of her own actions. She made Aries kill people. Fuck. It's all so fucked up. I lay Ophelia down on the bed, my stomach twisted in knots. "This is her?" Harry asks, studying Ophelia. "Your old best friend?" I nod. Guess I owe Cisco an apology. He seemed to see it the moment I told you both about her. "Sometimes we're too close to the situation to see the whole picture," Harry says, as he takes a bag of blood from his pocket and hands it to me. "Don't be too hard on yourself for not wanting to think the worst of someone you once loved." "Thank you, Harry," I say, truly appreciative of his understanding. I bite into the bag, draining it down. It coats my insides, cooling my body. I feel that shift inside. The one like my entire body is being lit up by divine electricity. My eyes close for a second as the wave of perfection washes over me. "Good stuff?" Harry asks. I open my eyes to see him studying me with one raised eyebrow. His look is inquisitive, but a little perplexed. It should be disgusting, but somehow it's the best thing ever. He gives a small half smile, one that says he understands. I eye the man beside me. "Why don't you seem surprised by this? The fact that Ophelia could make Aries do all this? It's still shocking the hell out of me, and I've had a few days to process the idea that there are other supernatural beings out there besides vampires." Harry's eyes slide over to me. "America is still such an infant in so many ways. A couple of supernaturally gifted people got caught and they hunted them down, plus a bunch of innocent people. But back home in Korea, there are shaman who are well known." I arch an eyebrow at that. "Are you really all that surprised?" Harry asks. "All the stories, all the legends." My awesome American education didn't cover much of Korea's witch history. "They prefer the name Mudan, which is too Americanized," Harry says, cracking the first joke I've ever heard from him, even though it's not really a joke. I chuckle and shake my head. The world just keeps spinning further into insanity, I say. I never... Ophelia stirs on the bed, a groan coming from her throat. She rolls over on the bed, a curse coming from her lips as she stretches her neck. I'm sure she's damn sore. "Don't try that again," I warn her. She was trying to talk me into leaving Aries when I knocked her out. Ophelia jerks up in the bed, shoving herself across it, getting as far away from me as she can. Her gaze rips around the room, and I see it as she begins realizing where she is and what this all means. "I need to know exactly what it was you told Aries to do," I say, using every bit of my willpower to stay composed. I want to have a full-on tantrum. I want to go all WWE on her ass. The amount of rage I feel in this moment is astounding. "What the fuck, Lana?" Ophelia snarls, her gaze fixing on me again. And as we stare at each other, that is absolute hatred she's broadcasting at me. "I'm not playing games, Ophelia," I say, taking a step closer to her. She eyes me warily, but she doesn't have anywhere else to retreat to. This could have gone very differently, but now we're all dealing with the consequences of your choices. I'm really, really losing patience. So tell me, what exactly did you tell Aries to do?" "Fuck you," she says in a breath, glaring daggers at me, but her curse comes out a little breathy and scared. Harry takes a step forward. I see his eyes flash red and two little indents form on his lips as his fangs extend. But he doesn't freak out. He doesn't snarl at her. In fact, he keeps his hands tucked in his pockets. He steps to the edge of the bed. He leans forward. Those glowing red eyes of his stay fixed on Ophelia as he leans in, his face only a foot from hers. At Harry's approach, at his very obvious vampireness, Ophelia quakes. "I am not a person who likes messes," Harry says. His voice is deadly calm. "In fact, before I resurrected, I had some pretty severe OCD. And while I never received a diagnosis, if I had to guess, I'm on the spectrum. I really, really don't like when people make messes. I really don't like when they mess with shit they shouldn't touch. So, Ophelia, I need you to tell us exactly what you told Aries to do. Ophelia's entire body shakes. Her eyes are bloodshot. I can smell the perspiration on her skin. She's breathing so hard and so deep, I hope she doesn't pass out. I told him vampires shouldn't exist, she says, her words rough and difficult to understand with how bad she's shaking. I told him to kill every vampire he knows in New York. A curse leaves my lips, even though it's exactly what I was expecting. What else? Harry asks, his voice low and icy calm. My stomach drops out. No, there is nothing else. That alone is horrific enough. There can't be anything else. But as I look at Ophelia, I see what Harry sees. She's holding something back. And from the way the terror on her face deepens, I know it's going to be bad. Ophelia's eyes slip from Harry's to fix on the surface of the bed. I told him to kill every vampire he knows in New York, and when he was done, to kill himself. My stomach disappears. My world tilts on its axis. All the oxygen in the room evaporates. A curse slips from my lips. I turn from the vault, and my feet move before my brain can process everything I just learned. Aries. His name rips from my lips as a scream as I dart back out into the city. Chapter 7. I burst out of the building, slamming the heavy door shut behind me, leaving Ophelia in the cold, sterile darkness with Harry. This fear, this unrelenting panic, feels worse than anything I've ever experienced. Ophelia told Aries to kill himself. I can't think of any other vampires Aries knows except for Cisco, Harry, and James. Does Clementine count as a bitten? Fuck. My fingers lace into my hair as I look up and down the street. How many vampires are left before Aries tries to hurt himself? Damn you, oh! I curse as panic stings the backs of my eyes. I sprint through the city like a woman possessed. My body, still unfamiliar with its newfound power, moves faster than I ever have before. But it's not fast enough. The streets blur around me. Pedestrians dodging out of my way, honking cars skidding to halts as I cut through traffic like a reckless specter. All the while, my sharpened eyes scan faces, searching for the one and only one that matters to me. I shove through a crowd at an intersection, ignoring the shouted curses that follow. My mind is a chaotic mess of terror and rage. He's out there, somewhere, alone and hunting, teetering on the edge of something I can't let happen. The image of him, his beautiful, unbreakable body, mangled and lifeless, flashes through my mind, and a strangled sound escapes my throat. No, fuck no, I will not let that happen. My stomach twists violently. The air feels too thick to breathe. How could she do this? How could she play with his mind like this? With his life? How do relationships break so wholly that she could do this to me? Once upon a time, Ophelia loved me, and I loved her. But now she can take no thought to tell the man I love to end his own life. What it would do to me if Aries were dead. The Aries I know, the man I love, is still in there. But he's drowning, lost in a compulsion that isn't his own, and if I don't reach him in time, he will finish what she told him to do. I push harder, my feet barely touching the pavement as I scan faces. Where would he go? If his phone is dead, I can't track him that way. He hasn't gone home. He isn't at the office. He's been hunting vampires, but there's no pattern. No clear logic to where he'll be next. Think, Lana. Think. This racing around is pointless. I realize it, and slow in an instant. If Aries is hunting vampires, he's not wandering around in the daylight on the streets. Aries is smart. He's purposeful. I'm never going to just spot him on the sidewalk. In desperation, I circle back around to the simplest solution. I grab my phone and open our text thread, my fingers shaking as I send another message. Where are you? Please, Aries, answer me. I hit send and wait, but I don't expect anything. For 2 days now, my messages have gone undelivered, as if he's been in some kind of black hole, unreachable. I don't expect that to change now, but when I glance back at the screen, my heart leaps into my throat. Delivered. Holy shit. The message went through. My hands fly across the screen as I immediately open our location sharing. It loads for half a second, then his location pings. Harlem. He's moving. Ice crashes through my veins. Cisco owns a massive portion of Harlem. Aries is hunting vampires. Fuck. Aries is going after Cisco. My fingers tremble as I click on Aries' contact and hit call. It rings once, twice. Then, unbelievably, Aries picks up. Vengeance. His voice is low, rough. Aries. I breathe, my voice barely above a whisper, my grip tightening around the phone. I nearly collapse in relief at the sound of him. But something is wrong. He doesn't sound like himself. There's a strange emptiness in his voice, like he's locked onto something, fixated, hunting. I swallow hard and force myself to sound steady. Aries, where are you? He doesn't answer immediately. I hear the faint sounds of the city in the background, but his breathing is steady, measured, too calm. That's what terrifies me the most. He doesn't answer me, like he's hardly paying attention. Aries! He makes a little sound, acknowledging me, but not actually answering. And an idea strikes me. I have to change my approach. I have to reach a deeper part of Aries. I let desperation bleed into my voice, every ounce of it genuine. Aries, I need your help. My voice shakes. I let emotions saturate my words. There's this man following me. Where are you? The other line goes quiet, the wisp of air halting, as if he's stopped in his tracks. Where? His voice is sharper now. There he is, the Aries I know. 3rd and 99th, I say, breathing hard, like I'm walking. I pick the address knowing it's roughly the halfway point between us. Aries, hurry. I'm on my way, Vengeance. His promise comes through. Stay somewhere public. Don't stop. The line goes dead. I look at my phone, confirming the call has dropped. Fuck. I don't know what to think about that, but I get moving. I have 9 blocks to go, and Aries is faster than I am. I pull my phone out again and press it to my ear. Cisco answers on the second ring. Aries is hunting you. Get somewhere safe, now. A curse, then rustling as if he's already moving. I'll handle it. No. My voice is firm. I dart around a couple of people on the sidewalk, stepping out onto the road even though there isn't a crossing sign. A car honks at me. I think I have him distracted. Let me handle it. Just stay the hell out of his way. Tell me what's going on, Cisco says, his tone frustrated and angry at the same time. Aries finally charged his phone, I explain. I tracked him. He's in Harlem. You know any other vampires in Harlem besides you? Not that I'm aware of, Cisco admits with a sigh. He was definitely hunting you, I say with a nod as I cross another street. I got to him first. He's coming to meet me now. I just thought I should warn you. A pause. You sure you can handle him? No, not if he's fully gone. Not if he's already too lost in Ophelia's command. But I have to believe that I can reach him. That, for me, he really will show up. Yeah, I say, speaking it aloud so it can become true. Fuck, Lana, be careful, Cisco says. I will, I say as I cross the last street. I'll call you back when it's over. I hang up as I round the final corner, approaching the alley. It's quieter here, the sounds of the city fading just a little. My pulse is too fast, my mind spinning. I don't know what condition Aries is in. I've seen him with blood on his hands, with his shirt torn and bloodied, even shirtless because he had to dispose of it. And if Ophelia told him to end himself when he was done taking out as many vampires as he could, I don't know if he's still capable of seeing me, even. And what if I'm still enough of a vampire that it triggers his instinct and he tries to hurt me? No. Fuck, no. I believe it with every bone in me. Aries would never hurt me. Aries would come for me. I know that. Even like this, with his mind twisted, his body driven by the unnatural force of Ophelia's command, he would always come for me. That's why I played dirty. This is the only thing I can think of that might break through the haze of his killing instinct. If Aries still has any piece of himself left, if there is still even a shred of the man I love inside him, he will fight through anything to get to me. Just as I reach the middle of the alley, the most private spot, I hear footsteps. Slow, deliberate. A shadow moves at the edge of the alley. Then Aries steps into the dim light. My heart about erupts with relief. It's only been 2 days since I last laid eyes on him, but so damn much has happened in that time that it feels like an eternity. And the last few hours have been some of the most panic-filled of my life once Ophelia revealed the fullness of what she told Aries to do. He's not covered in blood, but he looks wrecked. His clothes are torn in places, dirt and grime staining his shirt. His knuckles are raw, scraped. His face is drawn. He's wearing sunshades, yet even through them, I can see there are dark circles beneath his eyes like he hasn't slept in months. Something about his posture sends a deep chill down my spine. I want to say he looks like he's been in a fight, but he hasn't. The tells aren't there. This is the result of his own mind. A wave of nausea rolls through me. Ophelia's command is working. For a terrifying second, I don't know if he recognizes me. His stance is tense, his chest rising and falling with slow, controlled breaths. A hunter measuring the moment before the kill. I fight to stay still, to not show an ounce of fear. Aries. His fingers twitch at his sides. His head tilts slightly, as if listening. The wind shifts, and I see the second it happens, when my scent reaches him. His entire body locks up. His expression flickers for just an instant, from cold emptiness to something uncertain. "Lana," he says hoarsely. "Yes," I whisper, stepping toward him carefully, like I'm approaching a wounded animal. "I'm here." His brow furrows slightly. He sways where he stands. "You called me." "I did," I say as I take a step toward him. He's studying me with such confusion. He knows me. I can see it in his body. He knows me. But his mind, fuck, he's so far gone. He looks ragged. He's been running himself into the ground. What if he hadn't charged his phone? What if I couldn't find him today? What would have happened tomorrow? Would it have been too late? I can't think about that right now. It doesn't matter. He's here. I take another step toward him. His nostrils flare as he scents me. There's something that shifts in his eyes. Maybe he can sense my change. His eyes roam over me, searching for an answer. But he doesn't strike. He doesn't turn and run. I stop right in front of him, and I reach out, taking his hand in mine. "I need to take you home," I say, as those hazel eyes burn into mine. He stares at me with such intensity, as if racking his brain for who I am and what I mean to him. I lean forward, pressing my forehead into his, willing it all to come back to him. "You're still in there," I murmur, barely above a whisper. "I know you are." His breathing is wrong, too measured, too much like a man on the edge of something final. "I'm sorry," I whisper, right before I jam the dart into the side of his neck. Aries' entire body stiffens. His eyes instantly flare brilliant red, and black veins fan out from them, spreading over his face. His mouth parts in shock, his hands twitching as if reaching for me. And then, in the span of a heartbeat, his knees buckle. He spasms in pain, a muffled cry escaping his lips. Shit, no, I didn't know this would be painful. After everything he's already been through, the last thing Aries deserves is pain. But it's too late. His body spasms once more, and finally he drops. I catch him before he can hit the ground, cradling him against me as his body goes slack. His breathing evens out, his face smoothing into an unnatural stillness. A breath shudders out of me, half relief, half fear. I have him. I finally have him. Fuck. I honestly wasn't sure I'd ever get him back, and for a minute there, I couldn't stop playing out the worst possible ending to this in my brain. But he's here, in my arms, finally. I pull my phone from my pocket with shaking hands and dial Billings. He picks up on the first ring. I need you to pick us up, now. On my way to your location. He doesn't ask questions. I send a quick text to Cisco and Harry. I have Aries. Meet me at the vault. Then I sit there, kneeling on the dirty ground of the alley, holding Aries against me, feeling the slow, steady rise and fall of his chest. I push the damp strands of hair out of his face, my fingers ghosting over the bruises and cuts marring his skin. He looks broken, fractured. I finally have him back, but can I fix him?